Derek, what year were you born?
75. I was in 38.
When you die, and people start talking about you, and this is not just Derek, it's everybody in the room. Are they going to talk about the day you were born? The day you die?
What happened in the middle?
Or the dash?
What happened in the middle?
What are you going to do with your dash? Because that's what people will talk about. That's your legacy. People won't talk about the day you die unless you're trying to walk across some tightrope across the Grand Canyon and that's how you die. They'll probably talk about that day for a little while, right? They're probably not going to talk about the day you were born unless you come out of your mom's womb with a Superman cape on. That might be something they talk about. Outside of those extraordinary events, this is what they're going to talk about. Does that make sense? What are you going to do with your dash? What will people say about you? What will be your legacy? And here's the thing. If it's that you want success, what is success to you? Because I'll tell you something. I think money has a lot to do with it. It's not everything. But I can promise you this. If you want to change people's lives, you have to have resources to do that. I've never seen a poor person feed the poor. Just haven't seen it happen. You don't see homeless people typically working at the food line. It doesn't happen. Usually it's people that have means of some sort that can volunteer to do those things. Or they can give the money to do those things, right? You don't usually see a guy out here panhandling going and buying another homeless guy dinner or feeding or supplying the food for a food line. It doesn't happen. You have to have some kind of means to do it. What will you do with your dash? What do you want to do? What do you want to change? And then when you figure that out, by what means will you do it? Where does the funds come from? How do you get the funds to do it? Well, thank goodness you're not getting paid $8 an hour. Because if you were, it's not going to be doing that, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're making $8 or $10 an hour, I promise you, that is not enough money for you to impact the world. Just can't happen. There'll be no dash. It'll be, yeah, the guy worked at McDonald's for 12 years. That'll be it. You have to have some means in order to change the world to some degree. I mean, even if you think about Thomas Edison, he's a pretty famous inventor, would you agree? If it wasn't for him, where would we be? In the dark. Okay? I can assure you, he had to have some money. Would you agree with that? I don't know if he was rich or not. I'd say he was pretty well off.
5,000 times.
Yeah. He had to have some money, didn't he? Because you can't continue to work on something like that without some kind of resources. Anyone who's made any kind of impact on the world has had some resources to do it. How do you get those resources? And it comes from one thing. Making a decision to be successful. And deciding that decision that you want it as bad as you want air itself. Because until you get to that point, until you decide that finances or whatever it is that you're working for is as important to you as air, there's no way you'll be willing to go through what you have to go through on a daily basis to get there. Because something will come up against you and you'll be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just stopping here. It's just too hard. I'm just not doing that. You know? I'm not doing that. It reminds me of that M&M's commercial. I don't know if you guys have seen it, the red M&M. They're singing, "I'll do anything for love." You guys seen that commercial? Except that. And sometimes I think we go through life saying, I'll do anything it takes to be successful. In fact, when I sit down and talk to people about working here, I say, if I could show you how to make $1,000 a week, what would you do? I'd do anything. Oh, except that. Or, well, I won't work 50 hours. Or I won't start at 1 o'clock, or, you know what I mean? At first, it's like, yeah, I'll do anything as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical, right? And then all of a sudden, they get into it, and I'm like, yeah, well, I won't start at 10 o'clock on a Saturday. Well, I won't stay till 9 o'clock. Well, I won't walk in the rain. Well, I won't drive 30 minutes. How bad do they really want it? How bad do you, and it's not just this, it's like life, right? How bad do you want success? You say you want it. We all say that. We all say we want to be successful. At least I say everybody I've ever known has said they want to be successful. But how bad do you want it? How bad is it a need? You know what I mean? Is it a necessity? Because I can tell you what, there's two things in my life that's a necessity. Food, as you can tell, and air. Those are two things I have to live. And I will do just about anything to get those. In fact, the biggest man in the world, the biggest, baddest, meanest man in the world could come up and put his hand over my face and hold my nose in my mouth, and I'll fight him. I will fight until I die, right? Any means necessary, I'm going to try to get air, right? Is that how bad?